I watched. I'm assuming you watched as well. NLCS Game 7. Craziness, but the D-backs are advancing.
I mean, I gotta say, I think it shocked the baseball world, right? The Phillies are a team who historically play incredible at home. All they had to do was win one game. They came home and lost Game 6 and Game 7. And they had an opportunity last night with bases loaded and Bryce Harper coming up to the plate. It felt like that could have been that same kind of moment he had last year, but it didn't. Did you ever imagine it ending this way?
It did feel like they had plenty of opportunities last night. I can't say that I imagined it ending this way, especially with the way the series was going for the Phillies. You know, they get up 2-0. They dominated at home. And then they finally scratch and claw and get that last one on the road to go up 3-2, come back home. All you need is one. Same situation as the Astros. All you needed was one going back home, and it didn't happen. I did think the Phillies would be able to get one done at home. They weren't able to do it. The D-backs are advancing, and you know what that means, Alex. The World Series is set. Let's get it in the wall. We got the Diamondbacks against the Rangers, just as everyone suspected.
Like, how many people do you think, when they're filling out their brackets, had the Rangers and the D-backs? Not a lot.
Probably not many. Not many. Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible. Like,
it is. But honestly, this series was awesome. And the Diamondbacks, I've been saying it all year long. I've been saying it since December of last year. Don't let this Diamondbacks team surprise you. I tweeted it. Here it is. What's a team you think could be sneaky good in 2023? I'll start. The Arizona Diamondbacks. Said that in December. So what does that mean for this team? Well, I didn't imagine that would mean they're going to be in the World Series. Yeah. But what I did think is that they would be young enough and the rules would help them in a way. And I do think that's been a big part of this for the Diamondbacks. They create chaos. That's what they do. And they're able to do that on the bases. These new rules help them do that. But once they got down 2-0 in that series, I didn't think they'd be able to get it done. Once they got down 3-2 heading back to Philly, I knew it was a tall order. But really, Corbin Carroll in Game 7 was fantastic. Ketel Marte all series long, the MVP of the NLCS. He has a hit in 16 straight postseason games to start his career, which is a record. Brandon Pfaadt was great in Games 3 and 7. So, look, I don't count out the Snakes. Never. Just don't do it. And now we see them beating the Phillies in the NLCS.
It's just crazy because the postseason is where good players become great and where stars are born. And we're really seeing that, as you mentioned, with Ketel Marte and MVP CC, which I think might be catching on here. Corbin Carroll just having an absolutely incredible postseason. But when you look at it, they only have 2 players on their team with World Series experience. So they're coming into this series just where it could kind of help them, where you don't know what you don't know, and they just continue to have fun and create chaos, which has been kind of their motto. It's what they have on their big banner, after they won and they're now headed to the World Series. How do you think not having the experience will help them versus maybe hurt them?
I think this could have gone in multiple directions. And we see that this postseason with the Orioles and with the D-backs. And one went in as the number 1 seed with all the pressure in the world, even though they're young and inexperienced. The D-backs are just playing with house money at this point. And that goes out the door, right? You're not going to say, they don't care. They're just here. They're happy to be here. Not anymore. But that's kind of was the feeling getting into the playoffs. Like, were they supposed to be in the playoffs this year? Probably not. They get in as a 6 seed and then just kind of beat in everybody in their way and taking out some big dogs in the process. The Dodgers, the Phillies. So I think the inexperience has really helped them so far in this playoffs. And I think it takes a certain type of player. And I think Corbin Carroll is that perfect player and leader of a team and of an offense that allows that, because he doesn't care, and not in a bad way, but he doesn't care about the moment.
Yeah.
It's like, I got a job to do. I've been doing it my whole life. That pitcher's 60 feet, 6 inches away from me. The bases are 90 feet away from me. This is the same game I've been playing forever. And this is what I was meant to do, and I'm going to go out there and do it. So I think the inexperience has really helped the D-backs in this process.
Well, hopefully it can continue on. But before we look ahead, let's dive into the Phillies, right? Because they went up 2 games in this series. All they had to do was win one at home, a place where historically they win a lot of postseason games, and they couldn't. They lost game 6 and 7 at home. How big of a disappointment is this for the Phillies, who seem to be really the favorite once we got to the CS?
It's always tough to say that it's a disappointment when you end up in the Final Four. And I had this same feeling when we were down on the field after Game 7 talking about the Astros. And I did say how I felt like the end of the season, the ALCS specifically, was an embarrassment for the Houston Astros. And it's because they were never able to win a game at home. And does that mean the season as a whole is an embarrassment? No, you did something that nobody's ever done, which is 7 straight ALCS appearances. You made it to the Final Four, the final 2 of the league. By and large, a good season. And that's what we're able to talk about with the Phillies. By and large, this is a good season for the Phillies, but that doesn't take away from the disappointment of the playoffs. I think if you ask all Phillies fans, they felt like they had a really good chance to beat the Atlanta Braves. They felt like if they could beat the Braves, they can beat anybody. And they did beat the Braves. And then you realize, okay, we have the Diamondbacks next, a team that we can really beat. I have no doubts we can beat that team. And then you dominate the first 2 games at home. Then you go on the road and lose 2. And then you win that game 3 on the road. So then you really feel like, okay, we got a little bit of a scare there. We got it back under our control. Got to win one of these next 2 to win it all. And they weren't able to do it. And again, I'll say that's an embarrassment.
Thanks for watching. If you love Flippin Bats, swinging 3-0, or just talking ball, join us. Call us at 213-537-9339 with your questions. We have a weekly guest, and we have a lot of fun, so hit that subscribe button.